I didn't stay fat for years because I was lazy or because I didn't want it badly enough. I stayed fat because I believed a stack of lies that sounded like facts. It started with a lie before I even began my weight loss journey, and that lie cracked the ground beneath me, creating new lies in my first attempt, then more as I kept trying, until finally I hit rock bottom with the hardest lies, the ones that show up when you're exhausted, jaded, and ready to give up. I've kept the weight off for 10 years, but it took me so many years to unravel what I'm about to show you. It's the same downward spiral I've seen in my 1,000 plus weight loss clients before they came to me. And I bet you're believing some of these lies as cold, hard truths too. So as I walk through my journey, I want you to do something. Spot the lies, not just mine, the ones you are telling yourself. Because if you're at the early ones, you can avoid the even harder ones waiting down this pit. And if you're already at rock bottom, I'll show you how to climb out like I did. And once you do, you'll be free and you will succeed. I didn't start this journey because I hated myself. I started it because I saw a photo and didn't recognize myself. My clothes weren't fitting, I was tired, bloated, but even then, I wasn't really ready to change. Because in my mind, I thought, my diet isn't that bad. I wasn't eating fast food, I had salads, I bought organic. Maybe it was just bloat, hormones, salt, something temporary. And when I did feel motivated, I'd think, but I don't have time for this. Work was stressful, my schedule was packed, trying to figure out food or workouts felt like stacking stress on top of stress. But then one day I snapped. I joined a challenge. This is it, I thought. I'm going to lose weight. And when I struggled even a little bit, I thought, I just need more willpower. So I went stricter, no bread, no sugar. But the second I messed up, it was over. If I'm not perfect, it's pointless. One chip meant failure, and failure meant might as well eat the whole bag. And when friends offered food, I didn't want to say no. If I turn this down, they'll think I'm weird, rude, or obsessed. So I smiled and ate and felt ashamed later. I kept trying different plans, hoping one would finally stick. And when I did stick to a plan, inevitably one day this thought would pop up. I've been so good, I deserve to binge a little. Then a few hours later, you're disgusting. You need to fix this now. So I punished myself. Extra cardio, skipped meals, shame loop, repeat. Someone suggested tracking again, and I snapped, I can't do that. I'll get obsessed. That causes disordered eating. I tried so many diets and workouts that eventually I circled back to the first diet that kind of worked. It worked last time, so I'll just do that again. Even though last time I burned out and gained it all back. I just didn't know what else to try. And when I burned out again, I stopped blaming the plan and started blaming myself. Maybe I just love food too much. Maybe I'm just hungrier than most normal people. But I couldn't quit because of this hope. Once I hit my goal, I'll feel amazing. Everything would be perfect. I'd finally love myself. But it felt so far away. At my lowest point, I thought, maybe my body is meant to be at this weight. Maybe I need to suffer to lose weight. So I restricted harder, pushed further. And when even that didn't work, I started thinking, something is wrong with me. Not my diet, not my plan, me. That belief almost made me quit. When I look back on that spiral, it's not just the weight I see, it's the stories I believed, the lies I built my plans on, and how they pulled me down one by one. And what pulled me out was unraveling them. Let me walk you through them not in the order I believed them, but in the order I had to let them go. At rock bottom, I didn't just feel stuck, I felt broken. Like no plan would work, because I didn't work. That belief made me feel helpless, but also brought a weird kind of relief. If I was broken, it wasn't anything I was doing. I was just unlucky. It wasn't my fault. But then I thought ahead and saw 3 possible futures. Future A, accept I'm broken and stop trying. My weight would keep going up like it had been over the years. This future felt scary. It just felt really hard for me to be okay with it. Future B, keep trying things while secretly believing nothing will work. My current situation, basically. Or future C, let go of this belief and give new things a full chance, believing my body will cooperate. Future C felt like lying to myself. I had so much evidence that nothing worked. But then I came across inversion thinking. Yes, these methods didn't work for me and worked for others, but did they also not work for others who eventually succeeded? Turns out, yes. So am I 100% sure B is true? I wasn't so certain anymore. Then I asked, How would I feel if I believed C instead? More hopeful for sure, but I was also cringing. How much more can I keep suffering? I was afraid I'd go all in, cook perfect meals, give up my favorite foods, push through hunger, only to crash again. Or worse, do everything right and still see the scales stall. I could not go through the cycle again. But then I read the book Atomic Habits. It said, aim for just 1% better every day, and big changes are why we never reach our goals. And I realized I had never tried aiming for small changes. This made sense, but I still wasn't bought in. I mean, how long will this take? Even when I pushed hard, weight loss would crawl at a snail's pace of half a pound. The future I so desperately wanted, where I'd be fit, confident, happy, and at peace, had felt so far away, even at that blistering pace. This 1% approach felt like it would take forever. I didn't want to put off that amazing life for 10 extra years. But then I was talking to a friend and she asked, what would you do if you were fit right now? I said, I'd wear what I want, take more photos, feel good in a swimsuit. She replied, wouldn't some of that happen as you lose weight? Why wait? That question haunted me. Why was I postponing my life? Like bouldering, something I'd always wanted to try. But I kept telling myself, not until I lose more weight. Why? I may level up slower, but I'd enjoy my life so much more. And when I imagined that, making a 1% change every day didn't feel like a delay. It felt like practicing my future life now. But then a fear struck me. Will I even be able to make the 1% change? I love food. I get hungry way more often than my friends. What if I aim for a 1% change, but then overeat so often that ultimately I'm making no change? During this time, a thin friend of mine was rooming with me. Watching her eat blew my mind. We ordered ice cream, and after a few licks, she decided she didn't like it, so she threw it away. I also didn't like the ice cream, but before she threw hers away, I had been intent on finishing the whole thing. I also noticed at restaurants she'd stop eating mid-plate when she was full, while I wouldn't realize I was full until I was uncomfortably stuffed. Had I been enjoying the last 10 bites of my food, or was I on autopilot? Wait. Did I love food more, or was I just mindless around food? While I was noodling on that, another incident happened. She came home stressed about a tight deadline at work. She vented, I listened, then I figured she'd want some snacks to hold her up during her late night working. But after venting, she marched into her room with a water bottle, no snacks in tow. That's when it started to dawn on me. Maybe I wasn't hungrier than everyone else, and maybe I didn't love food more than others. Maybe I had a codependent relationship with food. When I was happy, I ate. When I was sad, I ate. When I was frustrated, I ate. It was the only tool I had to feel okay. And if that was true, then the real problem wasn't my appetite. It was my relationship with food. That gave me hope, because you can heal a codependent relationship. But this realization sprung a sneaky trap on me. I started thinking maybe I could try keto again. A better relationship with carbs might make it sustainable, like a 1% change every day, right? I was sharing this with my friend who stopped me with, is that the life you want? No carbs ever. The fog lifted from my brain. I was fooling myself into keto again because it had caused the fastest weight drop, not because I believed that my relationship with carbs could go from can't stop to don't care. I couldn't imagine visiting Italy or Thailand and not having pasta or pad thai, not to mention skipping our family's famous mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. What I wanted was to go from can't stop to I love it, but I know when it's enough. And that wouldn't happen on keto. But then I also couldn't imagine intuitive eating working. If I had to listen to my body to know when is enough, I'd only know when I was way past stuffed. Then someone said, just track your food, no target, you just need awareness. I froze. Because tracking felt less like mindful awareness and more like judgment. If I blew past my target, I felt like a failure. And if I was below my target, I felt restricted. Tracking felt like lose-lose. But then something stupidly funny happened. While watching TV with my sister, I noticed she always set the volume precisely to 55. I turned to her and joked, I'm more of a volume 65 kind of gal. We laughed. And then it clicked. I have no reaction to being over in volume numbers than my sister. The number means nothing to me, but my calorie number holds so much, pardon the pun, weight. That's when I realized it wasn't the numbers that made me spiral. It was the story I told myself about what those numbers meant. The numbers were neutral, my shame wasn't, and that I could learn to change. But within first 3 weeks of tracking, I had the I've been so good, I deserve this moment. But this time I caught myself. Just like busting the goal weight equals happiness lie had also killed the let me try keto again because it worked last time fantasy, busting the I love food lie stopped me from rewarding myself with food, then punishing myself with starvation and exercise. I no longer wanted a codependent relationship with food. If I'm proud of staying on track, there are better ways to celebrate than gorging on food. And from there, the lies started falling like dominoes. When I went into socials now where people offered me food, I remembered my thin friend who'd stopped eating mid-plate because she had had enough. Also, if someone's love depends on me eating a cookie, is it really love? The work I had done to bust the harder, rock-bottom lies empowered me to set boundaries and say no confidently. And since I was only trying to improve 1% every day and practice my future life imperfectly now, the lie of, if I'm not perfect, it's pointless, became irrelevant. Perfection was decidedly not a goal anymore. Neither was willpower. Getting 1% better already felt small and manageable. And so also felt the I don't have time lie.
I was making such small changes that I could certainly carve out 1 to 2 hours in a week to make my tiny 1% change.
And last also felt the my diet isn't that bad lie. Yes, I hadn't been eating terribly. I had been eating mindlessly. No more. The tricky part is, even if you manage to catch the early lies, which is already incredibly hard, it still won't be enough. Because those surface level lies, they're sitting on top of deeper ones. That's why getting out of the pit isn't just about mindset work or journaling. It's real work, the kind where you track patterns, test changes, build your own playbook for your specific version of the lie. So how do you do that? You've got two paths. Path one, if you want my help shortcutting through all the trial and error to lose weight in a way that's sustainable, peaceful, and tailored to you, then learn about my weight loss program in the description and comments below. Or if you want to DIY it, then you'll want to watch this next video. It's a full case study showing how to spot the lie, build experiments that actually work, and finally feel like weight loss fits your life, instead of hijacking it. So you don't want to miss the complete step-by-step breakdown here. And always remember, you can do it!